Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video I like to discuss how the government are expanding the number of foreign workers able to take up visas, and in some cases how they're even splashing the cash to attract more migrant workers. But first, if you'd like to be notified of daily news and politics, please subscribe to the channel. So on the face of it, there should be nothing remarkable about this. We have serious labour shortages in Britain, and this is a barrier, of course, to economic growth. So part of the measures of any sensible government would be to attract workers into the sectors of our economy which are struggling. Long term, that's a training need. You'd put money into education, which the Conservatives are not doing. Short term, you make sure you can get them from wherever they are. It might be relocation costs within your own country, but mostly it's going to be attracting workers from overseas. The latest examples of this are fishing and teaching. In fact, in order to attract more teachers from abroad, the government are offering golden hellos of £10,000. Now, I can imagine what my former colleagues would think of that. Having faced real terms pay cuts, including multiple years with complete pay freezes since the Tories took over, I can imagine them asking the government, "Oh, can we have some of this money?" No, this money is for foreign workers. You get back to your gruel or it'll go cold. But although it seems sensible enough for a government to put some effort into attracting more workers in parts of the economy which are struggling to fill vacancies, we don't have the sort of government where news like this passes without so much as a raised eyebrow, because this is the sheep-infested, rain-soaked, windswept normal island we're talking about here. And just last week, our most prominent politicians in both the Conservative Party and sadly Labour were saying immigration's too high. Is it? Then why are we expanding the number of migrant workers coming to the UK then? Why are we actually offering cash incentives for them to do so? The correct answer would be because we need them to boost our economy. But this is not the answer you'll get from our government. They will insist that they want to bring immigration down, even as they offer an extra £10,000 for foreign teachers to come to Britain, or allow our fishing industry to recruit more foreign workers. And let's look at these two latest examples. I'll start with the fishing one because I banged on about this enough before we left the EU. The fishing industry became the poster boy for Brexit. It was utterly ludicrous, and I'll tell you why. First of all, it's a tiny part of our economy. Yes, of course, it is important to the individuals within the sector and to the communities whose local economy depends upon it. But Brexit ended up becoming a deliberate sacrifice of almost all of our economy for the sake of fishing. That is literally where the argument was just before we left. At that point, the government could no longer deny that it was going to cause economic damage to most of our economy, because every sector in our economy was going, this is going to hurt us. So they had to say, but it's worth it for fishing. Fishing's tiny. But if that wasn't stupid enough, Brexit had no chance of even boosting our fishing. In fact, fishing was one of the first to be hit by Brexit. I said at the time, even British registered fishing vessels were crewed on average with about 50% British fishermen. The rest were from abroad. All this rubbish about quotas. Oh, you get more quotas. We didn't even have enough fishermen to catch our EU quotas. What on earth were we going to do with more? As it happens, it didn't matter, because fishing vessels had to start catching less fish because they couldn't sell it all. Rotting on the side of the quay. Turns out that raising trade barriers with your customers isn't actually worth it for slightly higher quotas. But the utterly bizarre situation we find ourselves in now, where the government are having to change their immigration rules to allow in even more foreign workers because we don't have enough British fishermen to meet our post-Brexit fishing needs. As for teachers, just the optics of it. The optics of refusing to keep the wages of British teachers in line with the cost of living, to the point where some have to leave the profession to make ends meet, only to offer more money to foreign teachers. That's really quite a juxtaposition, isn't it? But think of it from the point of view of those who think immigration's too high. And you would think there must be quite a few target voters who do, given that the Conservatives have had to attack their own published figures last week instead of arguing that they were fine. It was actually quite a bizarre time for me. I did a video discussing that, and I put more effort into defending Tory government figures than they did. That was an odd day. But imagine the view from those members of the public. They think immigration is too high. The government say immigration is too high. They see the government just a few days after those figures, and their own statement saying, yeah, we need to work hard. It's not very good. I'm sorry, we seem to have failed. We need to work harder to bring immigration down. Then, a couple of days later, they sign off on a load of extra visas for foreign workers for the fishing industry. And then not only do the same for foreign teachers, but they offer £10,000 extra. Oh, and this is money you can't get as a potential British teacher. You might think, well, they're just offering £10,000 for people to come and teach. No. If you're British, you don't get it. You know, there are bursaries and scholarships for people to train as teachers in this country, in theory. Although I will say, if, for example, you go down the graduate training scheme route, then you're not eligible for this. You don't get this. But it also wouldn't apply to like me. I've left the teaching profession. They're not going to offer me £10,000 to return to it. So, which wouldn't work anyway. I'd come back. If it was worth it, I'd come back for 1 year and bugger off again. 2 years later, do it again for another 10 grand extra. But nonetheless, this money is only specifically for foreign teachers. So the government are actually offering more cash incentives to attract non-UK citizens to teach than they are UK citizens. The optics are really bizarre. And all of these contradictions between actions and words, because we have to believe that immigration, or the so-called uncontrolled immigration, is bad, but ignore the fact that immigration powers every major economy in the world. If you want to be one of the largest economies, then by definition, that means you need to take more than your fair share of resources. The global cake. That includes people. That's a fairly important resource for any economy. It means you need more than just your own citizens to study at your universities. You need more than just your own doctors and nurses to work in your hospitals and clinics. You need more than just your own teachers to work in your schools. You need more than just your own scientists to lead your research. The list goes on. Frankly, it is bizarre that we see a problem with people coming to the UK in order to boost our economy and power our public services. After all, isn't growing the economy supposed to be universally accepted as a good thing? Aren't strong public services supposed to be universally accepted as a good thing? But no, not if it means we need foreign people to do that. But we have no issues with foreign ownership of our media or politicians, do we? You know, the government recently voted down measures to prevent foreign donations to British political parties. Cross-party support for that one, but the Conservatives went, no, it's fine. We don't need to do anything there. You know, so it's fine for us to have like foreign involvement in our media or politicians, but not our economy or our public services. Welcome to Normal Island, where every day is opposite day. But there we are. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. Hope you found the video interesting. If you did, please click the like button. And if you'd like to support the channel further, the join button for memberships. And until next time, I'll see you later.